Hello everyone, this is Deliver from the clan Toxic, and today I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to deal with a 3-gate expand build from the Protoss. This will be the first tutorial that I'm going to make. I plan on making a bunch more, tutorials for ZvT, ZvP, and ZvZ, so be looking out for those in the future. And the reason why I'm making these tutorials is because I don't see a lot of stuff on YouTube about how to deal with specific builds from Protoss, Terran, and Zerg players, specifically Protoss and Terran. And it's quite unfortunate because Zerg in those matchups is really the race that you really have to know how to deal with those build orders. There's so many build orders Protoss and Terran can throw out at you that if you don't really have a good understanding of all of them, you're going to lose a lot of games on the ladder. As a Protoss and Terran, you can kind of decide what you want to do and dictate how the matchup plays out. As Zerg, you really have to react to what your opponent's doing. So if you're not familiar with the builds, it can be a huge problem. And that's part of the reason, I'm making these tutorials. These are done in the Diamond ladder, around the 2500 rating mark. This was done a little bit, it was a while ago, so the ratings have kind of inflated since then. The ratings are constantly inflating thanks to the bonus pool. So this is a little bit older, but I plan on making newer stuff as well. I haven't been playing my Zerg account too much lately. I'm gonna get back into playing that, especially with the reset, starting to happen. I've been playing Protoss, as of the past couple weeks to try to get just play Protoss and try to understand the race a little bit better, so I have an easier time dealing with it on my Zerg account. But yes, this is the first tutorial, and our site, we have a site, BMM Shoutcast. I could put the link to that in the video description, and we're probably going to be offering coaching pretty soon as the new ladder season starts, so definitely be looking out for that. Prices will probably be pretty reasonable. It's myself and another player from Toxic and ACL. He's a Protoss player, and he's definitely a great player. You can learn a lot from him. So I'll keep you updated on the coaching stuff in the videos, but as for now, we're just making some tutorial videos for the site, to get people interested in such. So right now, Protoss player, he's opening pretty standard. He's got his 1 gateway, cybernetics core, he's got 1 gas, throwing up a 2nd gateway. I did a 14 pool opening into a 15 hatch. Pretty standard, and I'm making a spine crawler now. Now the reason I didn't 14 hatch on this map is because it's just too easy right now for Protoss to straight up kill you. Like, all it takes is a pylon somewhere around here and cannons, and you can defend it sometimes. You can bring drones down, but it's just not really worth it to do something like that and put yourself at risk if you're the better player. You never want to take any unnecessary risks if you're confident you can beat your opponent. Which I am in this scenario. So my hatchery is about to finish right now. See, if I would have went 14 hatch, they could have just threw up a pylon here in the minerals with cannons. It becomes very hard for your drones to do anything. You can wall off your pylon with cannons and other pylons very easily. You can put a pylon here. I do this sometimes on my Protoss account against Zergs through 14 hatch, and then just build cannons out from the side. They can't really see it, and I time it so that the cannons finish right as the hatchery finishes, and the Zerg's pretty much dead at that point. So you definitely don't want to be 14 hatching. Now, he did the build where he gets the 2 stalkers out, he chrono boosts them. Not the fastest way. He didn't drop the gateway simultaneously and start the chrono boost simultaneously. But still a pretty good build. That's why I got the spine crawl, because watch how easy it's going to be for me to deal with this with the spine crawl here. He's going to try to poke in, and he starts taking damage from the spine crawler. He's going to try to focus down the queen, but then the Zerglings come out, and he just realizes he's not going to be able to do much. I pull the overlord back, a little bit out of position. He kills a couple Zerglings, but he knows he's not going to be able to do any significant damage here. He could try to run up into the main. I've seen Protoss players do that before, but generally they're too afraid to do that because they don't want to lose the stalker, The whole point of this build is to get some early harassment down, and if he loses the stalkers, it's not really worth it for him, and that's very easy to do in the Zerg main, as all the creeps here, and you can just a ton of Zerglings can pop at any time. So that's definitely why you want to make that spine crawl. I'd say start it when your hatchery's at like 30% or something like that. Start it in your main, that way you can transfer it down right away. Back at the Protoss page, you can see that I scouted him, and I was able to see 1, 2, 3 gateways and a robo. Now, 3-gate robo is not very popular off 1 base anymore. It's just not considered to be a good build. It doesn't do very well to any type Mutalisk play at all, you'll pretty much lose to that. So I could pretty much guarantee that he's getting an expansion from after seeing this robo, even though my overlord didn't actually make it all the way to scout the expansion. If you want to be sure, you can send Zerglings down to poke, and you'll be able to see the expansion. So at this point, I know that I'm not really threatened too much. So I can start making a ton of drones, and I'll bring the production tab up here. I should have had that up the whole time, but I'm making some Zerglings, but this is because I pretty much finished with my drone count. I'm going to do a Roach Ling timing attack, which is why the Zerglings are coming out. But before that, I was just droning up quite a bit. As you can see, we'll go to the units tab. I've got 37 drones to his 31 probes, and that's pretty good. Generally, you want to still be making drones if you're going for the macro game, but right now I'm going to do the timing attack, so that's why I've stopped drone production, and I'm making Lings and Roaches right now. So that's that, and as you can see, I've got my Roach Warren up finally. The Roach Warren was a little bit late. You generally want to get it, you want to start it when your lawyer's around 20%, and then it finishes when the lawyer's done, and then you can start Roach speed immediately. Mine was a tad late, which is why I'm producing all these Zerglings in the meantime, and now I can start Roach production. And one of the key things you're going to want to know about Roach production is that obviously they take 2 supply. I'm sure you know that already, but you have to really be prepared to how much that's going to affect your supply count. A lot of players are used to just making 1 overlord at a time at this point in the game. But once you start making Roaches, you really need to start kicking it into extra gear and start making 2 or 3 overlords at a time, especially if you're going to be mass producing Roaches like I'm doing here. As you can see, we've got Roaches coming out pretty much non-stop, so you definitely need to be making a ton of overlords, 3 overlords in production. Because if not, you're going to supply block yourself, and it's going to severely hamper your production. Now he's got the Observer out, he chrono boosted that out, he's making a couple of Mortals for defense. He's not actually playing the overly aggressive 6-gate style Protoss, which is, I could pretty much tell that by the robotics facility he has. It looks like he's supply blocked here. He's getting the fast robotics bay off a 2 base while he's trying to saturate his expansion. So yeah, he's not doing anything overly aggressive. I'd imagine he's